Hey, Lamb.
Lamb back.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Y'all hear that beat?
Yeah, I know. I was like, I told her smile. Bear was really enjoying that beat.
It
Right.
was nice.
Good afternoon or good evening to you as well. We know people are watching from all over the place.
International,
Yeah.
yep.
Lamb back, reparations core people. I see you up in here.
Lamb back.
Lamb back, Nanufar. Welcome, good morning. Welcome. Hey, Dio. Hey, Petunia. Yeah, you ready to get this learning? Hey, welcome. Good morning. Make sure you all are coming in with the fresh cut. It's just my hair gone, y'all. My hair's just, I wish it was fresher. It does feel fresh. I feel the air now, but it ain't that, but yeah, no, keep coming in, laying back,
Yep.
welcome, share. How you doing this morning, Sergeant Bear?
I'm doing good. I'm really excited. And yeah, again, that beat, oof, great way to start us off. But yes, I'm very excited to get into, the book, ready to read this with everybody. And yeah. Get into these read that backs.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, you better be getting all your read that backs ready. Don't post them in the comments just yet. We'll ask for them. You can post them when we ask for them, but get them ready. And yeah, we have that beat because this is the Revolutionary Book Trap. We ain't no lame book club. We are studying revolutionaries and being our regular con ourselves about it. So that's why we got it like this. But yeah, keep welcome. Lay back Federico. Good morning. Good morning. Nobody's like, this book is so good. It is real good, isn't it? Yeah, I know y'all did your reading, so you know this is good. I know. It's a good bear. Is the book good?
Yes. It's really good. Yes. Oh, MACT.
You
leveling up.
I was just my throat just gone, y'all.
Looks like Illinois chapter in the house. Okay.
Land back. Good morning, SG Anko. Land back. Watacame. Tierra y Libertad.
Tierra y Libertad. Yes.
Yes. Land back, Huey. Yeah, make sure you are sharing, liking, commenting. How many groups do you think people should share this video to, Sergeant Bear?
I think 5 is good, or maybe even more.
5?
Yeah. Oh, more. 10.
I can put that on one finger. Well, 10. I can put on 2 hands. Okay. Maybe let's try for 2 sets of hands. So let's say 20.
Yeah. UK chapter in the house. Facebook okay, UK. See, we're international,
Yeah, see, we global. See, UK, you've had your whole day. This is a nice book chat to do with some afternoon tea. We know how y'all do over there. So get into this book chat. And if it's morning for you, get that coffee, get that tea.
Yes, Aurora.
Then back, Aurora. Nice to see you. OMG, yeah. So let's keep liking and sharing. We'll introduce ourselves so we can get right into it. So you know who I am. I am Chief Oju. I represent the nations of Africa and Boriken, otherwise known by his colonial name of Puerto Rico. And I use he, him pronouns, and I am the chief of curriculum here at Black Hammer, responsible for the political education of the masses, of our comrades, of the people. And yes, co-hosting this book with me is the amazing. Go ahead, introduce yourself. You are amazing. Go ahead.
Lamb back, y'all. I am Sergeant Bear. I represent the colonized nation of Mexico, and my pronouns are he, him. And I am the sergeant of the Cyber Recruitment Office and the chief of the Minnesota chapter.
Hey, yeah. Sergeant Bear be knowing how to recruit these comrades, y'all. Sergeant Bear is so good at getting comrades into this organization because they believe in the colonized masses. It's amazing to see the work that they do, y'all. It's an honor for them to be talking about this book with you and be doing that recruitment work. They do it all, the political education and the practice. It don't get better than that, y'all. It don't get better than that. But yeah, Sergeant Bear, tell them, what book are we reading? What book are we reading now?
We are reading Burn My Heart at Wounded Knee.
Yes. Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee by D. Brown, who is a colonizer, by the way. Just in case y'all didn't look it up. Yes, D. Brown is a colonizer, but this book, yes, Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. We're learning about the indigenous people of Turtle Island, mostly north of the Rio Grande River for the most part. But yes, that is who we're learning about. And this book is so far, it's been amazing. We have the audiobook in our library, as well as the PDF. So go to blackhammer.org/library. You'll be able to follow along with us. We read chapters 1 through 3. And yeah, are you enjoying this book so far, Sergeant Bear?
Yes, I am actually. And it's like really insane to like see like the things that go on. And I like the timelines in the beginning where it's like, oh, this happened, and then this happened, and then oh, this and this happened, right? Colonialism still going on throughout it, but it's interesting to see that, you know, how it's like, oh, look, this is what happened in like American history, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
For real, it's laying out like every single detail of like the horrors and the wins that have happened, right? It's like it is detailed. This is a full study. Like you get a full history up in this, for real. And so yeah, like before we do get started though, we know we don't just be reading books up at Black Hammer. We also want to make sure that we are building the anti-colonial paradise that is Hammer City.
Yes.
Yes, Hammer City. What is Hammer City, Sergeant Bear?
Hammer City is where we demonstrate our self-determination. Hammer City is a place where we exactly that, you know, practice our self-determination, practice, you know, the theory that we're reading and so on, right? Because theory is just theory, right? It's kind of worthless without the practice, right? And this is where we are practicing our brilliance and so on. And as you can see, you know, no cops, no Rona, and no rent. And it's a place for all colonized people, right? And again, where we can like come together and, you know, really show and express, you know, the things that our ancestors have done, right? Practicing our self-determination and so on. But yes.
Yes, that's so true, Sergeant Bear, because you know, we are our own leadership. We know how to lead ourselves. We've done it for thousands of years. Why would 600 years of colonialism make it any different? Why would that short period of time make us feel as though we can't do it again? Right? It's just we just got interrupted and we want to get back on track. And Hammer City is going to help us get us back on track. So if you want to get back on track, if you want to get your people back on track, if you want to get our history back on its track, right, moving in the direction that we need to get some donations to Hammer City. You know, we have to build Hammer City, and you can donate to Hammer City by going Cash App, cash sign, Build Hammer City. You can go to Venmo at Build Hammer City, or you can go to buildhammercity.org. And so, now they're coming in fast. Oh,
yeah, okay.
$25 in reparations from Reset. All right, Sarcophagus got $25 in reparations.
Another 25 in reparations.
Low key. I mean, y'all, I appreciate y'all, but I know y'all personally now. I might need to see a little bit more as a representation of the amazingness that is the colonized leadership that is moi for the reparations corps, just as an FYI. But yes, hashtag get back on track. People got QAnon, Smash Hammer got executive got $25 reparations. QAnon Smash Hammer got $42.
Okay.
The Recruit A got
another $50 in reparations.
Oh, Precipice. Oh, one of our recent graduates, $30 in reparations. Hey, welcome to the core. Welcome to the core. Let's see. Yeah, and if you can't share right now, or if you can't donate right now, share. And share for the amount of times you want to donate. So if you're like, oh, I wish I could donate $100, like share 100 times, right? If you need to pledge, you can pledge. If you can't pay it right now, we know we colonize, we know we poor, we poor. And so you can pledge and save it for later. All right. So, we got $25 more in reparations, $30 in reparations as well from Airplane. Chief Amma got $5. Thank you.
25 in reparations from Reset.
Thank you. Let's see. Zinc got $40 in reparations. $6. Thank you, Chief I.
Hey, Chief
we appreciate everything. We know we always gotta keep building and building. And sometimes it can feel tiring, you know, but we gotta keep pushing because it don't happen without us. We're proving that it can happen with us, right? Well, thank you, Chief Scene, for $20.
Yes.
Love you too.
Yes, thank you, Chief Scene. Love you too. Oh, pledging $7. My check comes this Thursday. I bet. Yes, y'all do these pledges.
Thank you. $20.
Yes, $20 for our self-determination. Yes.
Oh, I love to see it. Camarada Shukshi got $10 too.
Yes. Oh, Comrade Shokshi.
And then ran with $5. Ken Babe. You know, I'm trying to like, you know, every time I see a name, I always think of the colonized way to say it. Kenbabe. Oh, Ken Babe. $5. Thank you for that. Let's see. Oh my God, Aurora. Oh, okay.
Oh,
a pledge of $100, y'all.
Okay.
Aurora came through. Come through.
Who's gonna match? Come on, y'all. Let's keep it going.
I feel like I gotta keep it going because Aurora said, "Who's gonna match me?" That's a challenge. She just challenged y'all. $5 from Javi. Thank you, Chief Yabe.
I'm back, Chief Yabe.
And then I see Amina got $20 for July 1st.
Hey. Oh, Ken Babe. Oh yeah, Ken Babe says it's Ken Babe, like baby.
Okay. So I said it right the first time.
Okay,
yeah. And then another $25. Yes, keep it coming for the lovely, not just me, but also for the lovely Sergeant Bear. Yeah, this is amazing, y'all. Like keep donating. Our goal is $700. That's what our goal is today.
Okay, yeah.
We've hit it before. I know Sergeant is like damn. We hit it before, so we're gonna hit it again because you all are gonna make it happen, right? Y'all gonna make that happen today? $700. Oh, Fatigue got 25 pledge for Friday. Thank you.
I'm back, Thank you.
Yeah,
Aurora gonna match Chief Aurora. I'm waiting for that.
I know Aurora's like, I don't want to be looking crazy by myself.
Thanks.
Oh. Way back, y'all. Good morning. Well, let's get into our book chapter trivia so we can make sure we get into these read that backs because we know people are really liking this book, so we want to get into this book as soon as we can.
Yes.
So let's get into the book chapter trivia.
All right.
Our question, Sergeant Bear.
Yeah. So when United States soldiers couldn't find who robbed them, they stole the livestock and food of which indigenous Navajo leader? A. Barboncito. B. Chief Joseph, C. Manuelito, or D. Little Crow? Let us know, y'all.
Which one is it? If you know the answer, put it in the comments. Is it A, B, C, or D? And if you get the answer wrong, you're gonna have to donate or pledge something to him because you should have been doing this reading.
Exactly.
Yeah, because this is a very important part of this. It was chapter 2, I believe this was in, because they're not, the colonizers always gonna be doing whatever they can to undermine ourselves, undermine our way of living, undermine our way of surviving, and they be stealing livestock and food from us, and they stole from this person. So who could it be? We're seeing a lot of C's.
A lot of C's. Chief Yahweh says,
really,
"Don't copy.
Yeah.
Don't copy."
Don't copy. Seeing some C's. It's like, I'm not copying. Someone said, "Oh, compa Manuelito." CC. Please. Okay. I don't know. Is that the right answer? Let's see. Let's find out.
Yeah. It's C. I know it.
Let's see.
Yes, it is C. It's Manuelito.
Yes. Yeah, Manuelito was an interesting person, right? He was like, I do so much for y'all, and then they come and steal my stuff, but it wasn't me. I didn't do it. Why are you stealing my stuff? Yeah, there was a lot of that going on.
Yeah, a lot.
So yeah, keep everyone. Yeah, keep the shares coming, keep the likes coming, keep the comments coming. The beginning of the video is the most important time to get this out there.
Yeah.
Keep on sharing.
We want people to see this. We want people to get into this.
Yeah. If you got it right, donate $5. Yes. Yes. Affirm your brilliance. Put money on it. Affirm how smart and brilliant you are. And put money on it. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, because I know we read so well that we're never gonna get any donations because everyone's gonna get it right. So yeah. Put $5 on it if you got it right. Way back. So yeah, let's get into our read that backs. Let's get into this book. If you need a hard copy of this is available. To purchase. It's this version of it. It's a little bit different than the way the PDF might look, but it's essentially it's all the same in the inside. So yeah, let's get into our first read that back. We'll go into mine, which is on page 5 of the book, y'all. And if you're looking at the PDF, it's on page 15, I believe. Yes. So this read that back goes. It's a little long. Bear with me, y'all, because we wanna get a good grasp on what's going on here. It says 2 years later, he appointed a commissioner of Indian Affairs to serve in the War Department and see that the new to see that the new laws affecting Indians were properly carried out. And then on June 30th, 1834, Congress passed an act to regulate trade and intercourse with the Indian tribes and to preserve peace on the frontiers. All that part of the United States west of the Mississippi and not within the states of Missouri and Louisiana or the territory of Arkansas would be Indian country. No white persons would be permitted to trade in the Indian country without a license. No white traders of bad character would be permitted to reside in Indian country. No white persons would be permitted to settle in the Indian country. The military force of the United States would be employed in the apprehension of any white person who was found in violation of provisions of the act. Before these laws could be put into effect, a new wave of white settlers swept westward and formed the territories of Wisconsin and Iowa. This made it necessary for the policymakers in Washington to shift the permanent Indian frontier from the Mississippi River to the 95th meridian. This line ran from Lake of the Woods on what is now the Minnesota-Canada border, slicing southward through what are now the states of Minnesota and Iowa, and then along the western borders of Missouri, Arkansas, and Louisiana to Galveston Bay, Texas. To keep the Indians beyond the 95th meridian and to prevent unauthorized white men from crossing it, soldiers were garrisoned in a series of military posts that ran southward from Fort Snelling on the Mississippi River to Forts Atkinson and Leavenworth on the Missouri, Forts Gibson and Smith on the Arkansas, Fort Townsend on the Red, and Fort Jessup in Louisiana. More than 3 centuries had passed since Christopher Columbus landed on San Salvador. More than 2 centuries since the English colonists came to Virginia and New England. In that time, the friendly Taínos who welcomed Columbus ashore had been utterly obliterated. Long before the last of the Taínos died, their simple agricultural and handicraft culture was destroyed and replaced by cotton plantations worked by slaves. The white colonists chopped down the tropical forest to enlarge their fields. The cotton plants exhausted the soil. Winds unbroken by a forest shield covered the fields with sand. When Columbus first saw the island, he described it as a very big and very level, and the trees very green. The whole of it so green that it is a pleasure to gaze upon. The Europeans who followed him there destroyed its vegetation and its inhabitants, human, animal, bird, and fish, and after turning it into a wasteland, they abandoned it. Land back. I can't stand colonizers. Yeah. So, two things that are really important here. One is that it's kind of nuts to see how how indigenous people here in Turtle Island were supposed to be convinced that white people, that colonizers, were going to set up a system that was going to protect the theft of their land by stealing their land. They stole their land to make a process to prevent their land from being stolen. Is that how the game's supposed to go? You know? Right? They just kind of like made this. They said they're going to set up military garrisons to prevent people from crossing, and that white people were going to arrest other white people for stealing land, when you wouldn't have to do any of that if y'all just went back home and never came in the first place.
Exactly.
Right? It makes no sense, right?
I just think like at the end where it's like, and that's what you see when, colonizers go to, either Africa or Turtle Island, like they paint this like mythological, like, wow, it's so beautiful. The people are so like amazing. They're like godlike and things like that. And then they just completely destroy it. Like time and time again, we see that, right? It's just like, these people are amazing. They're so nice. they're perfect for us to take advantage of and like do all these things. And it's like verbatim, you know, the same story, and it's just like insane.
Yes, exactly. The cognitive dissonance, like Ade said, is a straight up cognitive dissonance where they go, it's like, this is so beautiful, and then destroy it. Oh, this is stolen, but I'm going to prevent theft. This is stolen by me, but I'm going to prevent theft. It's just that they literally come to steal our resources and our land and murder our people, and then don't realize that that makes the land die, that makes the people die, because they don't care, right? Just as like let's read that back ends, they eat up a place. It's like roaches, like rats, right? Like they eat up a place, and then once it's all done and like the skeletons left, they just move on to the next thing.
And like locusts, like they
yes,
say
like
later in the book.
Yeah. And I thought that was actually really interesting, Sergeant Bear, too, like how all the metaphors they had, like the indigenous people had for the colonizers, were all nature based, were all animal based, right? And I think the reason for that is because no other humans on the planet do that. So they can only compare the colonizers to animals, because it's not like, oh yeah, they turned the land into a wasteland, just like our cousins in this tribe. They don't say that,
exactly,
because there's no other people who are doing that besides Europeans, besides colonizers. Yeah, like termites. It's just like crazy how much they just eat up everything and then make it waste it away, and then just toss it aside and move on to the next thing. It's so cannibalistic.
Yeah, they copy us, push us into backwardness, and say how weak and dumb we are.
Yeah, no, exactly, Chief Gowdy. Like they just really, they really think we're that naive, and I think that's one thing that like I'm learning in this book so far, is that, you know, they like colonialism always wants to paint indigenous people as naive, right? Like naive, tricked, manipulated, easily manipulated, right? They want to make us seem like that all the time. And this, like what I'm learning, you know, what you see here, what you learn here, is that indigenous people, we are human beings. We're human beings. We have contradictions. We are revolutionaries. Some indigenous people sell out. Some indigenous people sell out. Some live to fight the colonizer another day. Some are murdered by the state, the colonial state. We are human beings, and they always want to paint indigenous people as this like naive, tricked people. And like the real trick is colonizers convincing themselves that they're doing anything beneficial for the earth by colonizing anywhere. That's the real trick. Yeah. In terms of the way that you've seen, the way Columbus came and with the Taínos too. I think about my people. That's my people. My people are the Taínos in Borican. And when I read like this whole handicraft, agricultural life that the Taínos had being just completely like burnt over, like just scorched over, to be replaced by like just massive cotton picking by enslaved Africans, and sugarcane planting by enslaved Africans. It's not just like, oh, look what they've done to my people, but look what they've done to our land.
Yep, exactly.
They just they decimate both of them, and it's just I'm excited to keep learning about more of these indigenous leaders who who kept resisting this expansion, this manifest destiny, and all that stuff. So anything else on your mind, Bear, with that?
I guess I really wanted to like echo and like really push that, drive that home, or that point home, in regards to like, indigenous people are still people, right? And there are definitely contradictions that they face. They're not like like you're saying, mythical people and so on. And that's like the narrative that was kind of being pushed onto them, like, oh, they're like naive people and so on. But yeah, like there were contradictions, the people of Turtle Island faced, and there were sellouts. There were people who didn't have the best interest of, they trusted the leadership of, the colonizers more than their own, right? And we see like how that puts them in, worse situations, right? But yeah, I really wanted to echo that again because, we're going to be really getting into that as well and seeing how like things like that manifest. But yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And Nadia puts it right there, F Columbus. Yeah, for real, F Columbus. Like, because pinche carón. Can we cuss in Spanish? I didn't even think about that. Does Facebook pick up? I don't know. but yeah, like for real, like period, Nadia. Because it's just that all this was just like a domino effect of these continents is coming to one place, and then more and more coming from all these different European places to colonize these two massive, beautiful pieces of land. One piece of the Pachamama being the lungs of the earth. The Amazon rainforest being the lungs of the earth, and they come to just decimate the lungs of the planet, the Mother Earth, which are our greatest comrade, right?
And also, I like what Chief Aurora said right here. The fact that many schools still teach that indigenous people simply, just died off and stuff like that. Like, oh yeah, the things that they teach in, the colonial institutions, like are like they don't. And it's also a matter of fact of what don't they teach us? Like, like we don't know. Most of the people don't even know like half the the chiefs in here and the leaders right in this book. Like it's insane. But yeah.
Yeah, I didn't go learn that in any of my colonial education. Because why would I? And then the idea that indigenous people simply died off. I grew up not even with the understanding that I'm indigenous too. It's like being from Borican and also from Turtle Island. I have it on both sides of my family, and I'm African. Like the fact of being African and indigenous at the same time is something that colonial education doesn't teach us. The fact that indigenous people are still alive because they're right in front of our faces. They are us. They live. Most of the people we like to call Latino or Hispanic. Like drop those words. No, like drop those words. We don't need those colonial words. We're indigenous people. We're indigenous people. Yeah, like and even if we don't know the indigenous people that we come from, that's because it's from colonialism. Even if we don't know that, doesn't make us not indigenous, right?
That's why we have our second principle of unity, right? To like screw all the divisive things, and the anti-blackness within like the indigenous community, saying, oh, like the blood quantum and all that. Like no, like you're indigenous, and like it's okay that you don't know like which tribe or like where you come from, right? That's just like blood quantum. That's like a colonizer mindset to really see it. You've been disconnected, right? It's like the colonizers put us in this position, right? It's not like your fault, right? But yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because F all that blood quantum stuff. Like I'm not going to measure myself by how much of the rapist is in me. Like I don't. That's not my measurement for who exactly. I am. Like, how much rapist am I? No, like no. I'm like, no. I am indigenous. I am African. That's all I'm going to claim. The rest of the stuff invaded me, invaded my blood, invaded my land, and invaded my blood. And so we don't need to claim none of that. We could just claim our indigenous people, our African people, our Asian people, our colonized people. That's all we got to claim. Land bag. V Bora was like, yes, unity. And then Aurora's like, I literally didn't hear once or understand that I'm also indigenous to like 3 months ago. Yeah, it's just something that they want to make indigenous people disappear. And like this book is really showing us just how much of this legacy and lives in us and lives in all indigenous people here in Turtle Island and around the world. Yes, it's just another attempt to control and confine us. Exactly, Avasita, right? They're trying to control us and define us and put us in these colonial boxes. And we got to break out of colonial boxes. And how do we break out of those colonial boxes? Bear? What do we got to do? What's something we got to join?
Oh, you got to join Black Hammer and like look at our principles of unity and unite with that, right? And it's really important to like really look at that. Like, our first principle, colonized people should have complete dictatorship over our lives, labor, land, and resources, right? And then our second, like we touched upon, that we are all equal, and that, these divisive things that have been created by colonizers are like nonsense, and like no matter gender, sexuality, mental/physical difference or anything, like you're still a colonized person, right? And then in regards to sellouts and neo-colonial sellouts and so on, and how like really colonialism is the root of our contradictions. That's what our third principle of unity states. And then our last one is emphasizes the importance of colonized leadership, right? And how we are the ones that need to be getting together and leading the masses, right? We can't fall under white leadership because, as we're going to get into, doesn't really get us anywhere. In fact, it puts us in worse positions. So that's why it's important that, we lead it, and we're the ones that are going to be overturning the contradiction of colonialism. But yeah.
Yes. Full unity with that, Sergeant Bear. We are about to get into it, but let's hear from the audience first. We tell you to get your read that backs. If you don't know what a read that back is, it's a quote from the book that you like, you unite with. Maybe you got a question about, just something that sticks out to you from this reading. All right. So we want to get an audience read that back. Drop them in the comments. If you need to see the book, you can see the PDF at blackhammer.org/library. But yeah, let's start dropping the read that backs into the comments, because we want to make sure that not only are you reading, but that you get your questions answered, because maybe not everything's clear to you in this reading.
I think we got one by Chief Amalicha.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, we could pull that up. Let's see.
Okay.
Oh, this one was mine. This one was mine. Yes, that's how good it is, right? That's how good it is, because Columbus be effing us up. We got some more.
Now we got some more. Okay.
At the same time, y'all.
Yeah, what the heck? Come on, what? 8:35 a.m. 8:35 a.m.
Let's do Chief Yabe's first. You want to read this one, Bear?
Yeah. So. Colonizers stay divided. Yep. So the Navajos were not citizens because they were Indians, and when they raided the Mexicans, soldiers would come rushing into the Navajo country to push them as outlaws. This was all an angry puzzle to Manuelito and his people, for they knew that many of the Mexicans had Indian blood, and yet no soldiers ever went rushing after the Mexicans to punish them for stealing Navajo children. Yes. Second principle of unity, right? And like, you can see like how like the divisiveness has like really like, oh, you're not part of these people, right? It has really like separated us, and what the Spaniards did. And it talks about too how like, oh, the Mexicans are like a little wealthier, they're like shepherds, they got sheep, and they got all this, right? And they, many of them have been very disconnected and sold out as well. They're like, oh, the people up north are, oh, whatever, like. They've been used to, what the Spaniards have done, and so on, and we're pushed, the caste system and all that. But yeah, what do you think, Chief Oju?
Yeah, no, it's kind of just similar to our other book chap on Hawaii, right? And that trying to make the colonized person as not colonized as possible takes them away from some kind of control over something, right? And so the more indigenous someone is, right, the more Indian blood that they have, the less of an ability they have to stop the theft of their children. And it's just, and when I read that, it just reminds me of everything that we're seeing happening in Canada right now with the residential schools, which are colonial tools used across the globe, and how many colonized indigenous children they're finding in these unmarked graves. And to see just that this legacy of colonialism goes to today. It's not a legacy; it's a present. It's happening now, and this this stealing of children, especially, just was something that we see happening all during this time in these 3 chapters. It's something that's continuing happening during the Civil War, and so. But yeah, in terms of the blood quantum part, I total full unity with what you were saying, Sergeant Bear, and like how that kind of organizing of colonized people by the amount of blood or by who they are is just a way to keep dividing people. and to keep us powerless. Yeah, for real, for real. Let's see Chigoon's read that back, although it gets cut off. Well, we'll find the rest of it. It's on page 30. So although Carson continued his steady destruction of grain fields, of bean and pumpkin patches, he was moving too slowly to suit General Carleton. This was one of my backup readbacks. In September, Carleton ordered that henceforth every Navajo male was to be killed or taken prisoner on sight. He wrote out for Carson the exact words he was to use to capture Navajos. Say to them, "Go to the Bosque Redondo," that's how they said in the audiobook, "or we will pursue and destroy you. We will not make peace with you on any other terms." Oh, I gotta find it. That was one of my backup read that backs. But yes, I remember what it was about, right? So Kit Carson was this colonizer that was known for okay. Thank you for this. Yes, this war shall be pursued against you if it takes years now that we have begun until you cease to exist or move. There can be no other talk on the subject. Woo, colonizers are just so dark, deeply dark. They're just ready to just end us. Jeez. And Kit Carson was this colonizer who was friendly with the indigenous people, had like multiple indigenous wives, and liked being among the indigenous people. But as a colonizer, it didn't matter just how friendly they were, or how left they were, or how liberal they were. When they were told and ordered to murder indigenous people, they did it. And with their liberalism made them do it too slow, what did their colonizer boss say? Kill them faster. And what did Kit Carson do? Kill them faster, right? The colonizer is not going to be for us just because you're trying to marry Chet Hanks ain't gonna do something for you, your people. Chet Hanks ain't gonna save you. Kit Carson killed them. Why would Chet Hanks not kill you? These colonizers who try to hang around us, try to be with us, they ain't gonna be there for us. All right, y'all. We have to remember that. So land back. If you don't know Chet Hanks, don't look it up. He just came out with a sign. You see all these comments hanging around him. I'm not gonna be in that video because know why? I'm reading. I bury my heart won't be.
It's colonizers.
I ain't gonna be in no Chet Hanks video. So y'all should be watching the book trap if you in that video. Land back. So yeah, let's go to our second read that back because we run a little bit behind. But thanks for your audience read that backs. We might come to more some later. So let's go ahead.
Yes, y'all send those read that backs in like last time. That fleet of read that backs that all just came in at the same time.
Yeah. But we'll go into yours, Sergeant Bear.
All right, bet. Oh. Okay, that's not.
Oh, okay. Oh, go to the let's go to the one before this on page 35. Yeah, that's my other one. I know I got some amazing read that back. Sergeant Bear got some amazing ones as well. Yeah. So yeah, we'll go to the one on page 35.
Yes. All right, and it goes, and no advocate of manifest destiny ever phrased his support of that philosophy more unctuously than he. And this is Star Chief Carleton, and he goes, the exodus of this whole people from their land of their fathers is not only an interesting but a touching sight. They have fought us gallantly for years on years. They have defended their mountains and their stupendous canyons with heroism, which any people might be proud to emulate. But when, at length, they found it was their destiny to, as it had been that of their brethren, tribe after tribe, away back toward the rising of the sun, to give way to insatiable progress of our race, they threw down their arms, and as brave men entitled to our administration and respect, have come to us with confidence in our magnanimity, and feeling that we are too powerful and too just a people to repay that confidence and meanness or neglect. Feeling that having sacrificed to us their beautiful country, their homes, the association of their lives, the scenes rendered classic in their traditions, we will not dole out to them a miser's pittance in return for what they know to be, and what we know to be, a princely realm. Yeah. So I picked this Read That Back, Chief Oju, because I think this is an example of, and the start of like, or it's just an example of like this trauma and like this, or historical trauma and behavior that like colonized people start to develop, right? Which is like this sense of like learned helplessness. It is, you know, the phenomena of like learned helplessness, in which like we don't have like, or right here where it says, you know, when they found out it was their destiny, that's it. Like you don't need to, you know, be coerced physically, right, through like war, genocide, you know, your crops and so on being stolen, right? That was the thing that allowed that to happen. But once mentally, right, you know, psychologically, you know that, oh, it's our destiny to be, you know, manifest destiny, right? It's our destiny to leave this land and go onto a reservation that was made for us, right? Then there's no need for war. There's no need for things like that, because now you have gotten, you know, ideologically, the colonizers are, you know, winning that battle. And, you know, we see this like now, right? This like continuation of that, you know, in our schools and so on, right? With people, you know, our students and so on, you know, being like discouraged and so on. And then, yeah, I just think this is like, it just shows that like like us developing that behavior of like not having control and like letting like outside forces, you know, dictate it, and not believing in our first principle of unity that like, no, like colonized people should have complete, you know, dictatorship over our lives, labor, land, and resources, right? But when we, you know, not believe in that, you know, we have this, we have, you know, where we think our destiny is in the hands of, you know, the colonizers and what they like want to create and so on. But yeah, what do you think, Chief Oju, about this?
Yeah, no, full unity with how you summarized it, Sergeant Bear. Because yeah, when you feel that it's meant to be, when you have like that psychological manipulation that somehow colonialism and your situation in life is how it's supposed to be, it's not going to inspire you or give you the will to do much. And will is so important in fighting colonialism. Will is so important in revolution, because without that will, you will not have the drive to manipulate the space that you're in and to make the space that you're in and make your land yours, right? Chief Abe has a great comment here. This is exactly why we need an unending faith in the masses, the colonized masses, to battle manifest destiny propaganda, because it is propaganda. It's psychological warfare propaganda. It reminds you a little bit of the Zapatistas, that low intensity warfare. It's really, you need that faith. That faith is going to, that faith in your own leadership, that faith in yourself, the faith that this situation will end. The faith that you won't be pushed out of your neighborhood one more time. The faith that you won't have to go hungry again this week. The faith that you will be able to not worry about your housing. Just having a faith in that future and having faith that you could provide yourself that future and other colonized people could provide that future for you collectively. That faith is going to push through that propaganda from this colony. Like they can throw manifest destiny. They can act like they God. They can act like everything is meant to be only for them, but they just 9% of the world. when 91% of the world finally like gets that all together, unity together, realizing, no way, this is not how it's supposed to be. This is not meant to be. Then we can overturn colonialism. Imagine that. Imagine 6 billion people at the same time realizing it does not have to be this way. That power can be so amazing to overturn what's happening in this world. So I have full unity with that, Sergeant Bear. That's a great read that back. Yeah, and manifest destiny, real quick too. The way that it's been used, not just in Turtle Island, but in other parts of the world. The claim that other parts of the world are America, whether it's Hawaii or Guam or the Philippines, it's just a matter of saying that everything just belongs to the colonizer. And no, it doesn't. It doesn't belong to the colonizer. It's we are the stewards of the land that we're from, and we will get our land back. And you can't do nothing about it, colonizer.
Exactly. And like I really like that that comment by Chief Yabe. Like, and it like manifest destiny is like straight up propaganda, right? And we see, you know, our presidents continue like with Trump, you know, like blessing the nation and so on. Reagan, there was like, I don't know, was it like the Spopovich speech or whatever? He's like saying like, oh, like Russia, like y'all just need to be capitalist and like y'all need God, right? But it's like it's the continuation of like this idea that, you know, we were blessed by, we were divine, like, or the colonizers, you know, were given this right to push these people away and, you know, reach from sea to shining sea and all that, and it's like complete nonsense, right?
For real. Talk about like sea to shining sea and like from the river to the sea. This comment, like Palestinians are facing a similar thing too. Yes, it's the same issue. It is also colonialism. It's the same taking of land from indigenous people. And it's interesting. There was one part in this book where I think it's Manuelito. Manuelito talks about how he dealt with the Mexican Spanish-speaking white people before, and so he's like, oh, I could deal with the English-speaking white people. They're all the same. And we have to understand, yes, the colonizers are the same, no matter what language they speak, no matter if they Jewish, no matter if they queer, no matter if they poor. The colonizer is the colonizer. They're a parasite. They are eating off of stolen resources. And that includes feeding off and being a parasite off of the people and land of Palestine, right? And so, yes, it is the same problem, Yazid. It's the same problem of colonialism in all these places. Claiming the Marshall Islands, all these places. Yeah.
Wait, we got to go back to Admiral Shagun's comment. That, yes, exactly. These schools don't be teaching about manifest destiny. They teach manifest destiny, right? With the Pledge of Allegiance. I know some schools, though, they don't do that. Like, because I went to school in California, too. But in Minnesota, they had us do the Pledge of Allegiance. So it was very clear that there's agendas being set, you know, in certain places. And it's, like, insane. It's like, whoa, you know. But, yes, they teach, you know, manifest destiny. They teach us like, oh yeah, you're speaking English, French, German. You know, you're not gonna have these other classes and things like that. But yes, they literally do teach this. But yeah,
Rohan's like, you don't learn about things, you basically learn how to do it. Yeah, you learn how to be a colonizer, which as a colonized person, that means you're learning to be a neo-colonial sellout. Mm-hmm. And we are having none of that. We are having none of that. What we need is determination and power. And how we get determination and power, we build it. And one of those ways we build it is Hammer City. And we join Black Hammer, and we also contribute to Hammer City. So we want to get some donations up in here. Everybody, you know, we want to take a call again to get donations for Hammer City. As we know, the Cash App is hashtag Build Hammer City, Venmo at Build Hammer City, and buildhammercity.org. Like we said earlier, our goal is $700. Our goal is $700. We are probably about halfway there. So we need to get
we
gotta get over the hump.
Still waiting on that person to match Chief Aurora. Still waiting on that.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, we need someone to match Chief Aurora with that $100 pledge. Who can match that $100 pledge? You know, you don't have to pay it now. You can pay it later. It's okay. Let's say you can gather $20 each day a week. You got $20 Monday, $20 Tuesday. By Friday, you met your $100 pledge, right? You can break it down that way. Break it down like a budget, right? So, yes, we want to see some more donations to Hammer City. One thing I would love to do in Hammer City is I would love to grow breadfruit. Breadfruit's one of those staples people don't know about a lot. It's a fruit that's starchy like bread, and it grows really easily in warm temperature.
Okay.
I would love to do that.
What are some other things you're excited for in Hammer City, Chief?
I mean, I'd love to have the Freedom School in Hammer City. Of course, that would be so wonderful to see our colonized children finally getting a chance to learn about who they are, not how to be a neocolonial sellout, right? But we all thank you more. 25 more in reparations.
And then 25 from Comrade Executive and Reset.
Bread grow on a tree. It comes wrapped in plastic and bags and hanging from the trees. It's like this big green fruit, and you can peel it apart and fry it, or you can bake it, or you can. It's starchy like a potato, but it's a fruit and just grows a bunch on trees.
Another 40 in reparations. All right.
Ooh, 40 reparations.
Airplane.
$100 in reparations from recruit A. Hey.
10 from precipice. Oh, we got someone to match.
Yeah, let's keep matching.
Okay.
20, some sarcophagus reparations, 50 again from 11 reparations. Okay. Y'all are showing out.
Got that 100 from recruit A. That's dope.
Yes. Oh, Carmila's like, are they coming out with new stimmy? $100 I get it.
Ooh, they are though. Ooh.
They're back. Yeah. If they're coming out with it, then like for sure. All right. Let's $21 and more in reparations. Okay, for the breadfruit and lamb back. Yes, bring it in. We want at least a few more because we got the $700 goal, y'all. What? Imagine the people seeing how colonized people in a book club on a Sunday morning, some regular colonized people be raising $700. And who thinks people could do that? No one right now is thinking anyone could do that except Black Hammer because we've done it before. So yeah, $15 more in reparations from Zinc. Hey, lamb back. Who can make that goal happen? Who can show the people what we're capable of? Because that's what this is about. We're showing the people not just political education, we're showing what we are capable of. The leadership we're capable of. I'm gonna put in $20 myself.
Okay. Have you ever had fried plantains?
I'm from Borican and Boricua. I grew up on plantains.
Okay.
Tostones? Have you ever? Oh my goodness.
Oh, dude. I'm gonna be eating those at Hammer City though.
Yeah, we could eat those at Hammer City, plantains at Hammer City, plátanos at Hammer City.
You gonna make them, Chipoji?
Oh yeah, I'm a cook. If y'all don't know, I could cook. I can cook.
Oh, okay.
There's people who have my cooking and they agree.
Chifiave said plantains. I'm sending 5.
Hey. Zero Mata is saying patacones because Panama, I guess they call it that. But I
those dones.
All right. Well, we want to see more donations come in. We are, I believe, at I think
oh damn. I'm gonna try to
I know, right? Embarrassing me. I don't know what plantains are.
I want to know which comments haven't had plantains before, though.
Maduros are good too, but I like those stoners better. Maduros are the sweet ones. Oh, yeah, Litsi got 5 on it. All right, I like that. I think that's thank you, Litsi. I'm good. We'll move on to our next read that back, just because of time. But I like ending at least with Yalitsi's donation. Thank you. And yes, keep donating. I want to see more donations as we talk about these read that backs. If you can't donate now, pledge, or get someone else that you know in your life to donate some $5, $10 today. All right. DH just said they're allergic to food.
Oh damn!
I can't even. All right, let's get into this read that back. It's on page 42 in the PDF. So yes, we'll begin. So it says, angered by yet another broken promise. I'm going to pull it up on my book. Actually, I want to read from my fancy. Yeah. Angered by yet another broken promise, Little Crow arose, faced Galebrave, and spoke for his people. We have waited a long time. The money is ours, but we cannot get it. We have no food, but here are these stores filled with food. We ask that you, the agent, make some arrangement by which we can get food from the stores, or else we may take our own way to keep ourselves from starving. When men are hungry, they help themselves. Instead of replying, Galebrave turned to the traders and asked them what they would do. Trader Andrew Myrick declared contemptuously, so far as I am concerned, if they are hungry, let them eat grass or their own dung. For a moment, the circle of Indians was silent. Then came an outburst of angry shouts, and as one man, the Santees arose and left the council. The words of Andrew Myrick angered all the Santees, but to Little Crow, they were like hot blasts upon his already seared emotions. For years, he had tried to keep the treaties, to follow the advice of the white men and lead his people on their road. It seemed now that he had lost everything. His own people were losing faith in him, blaming him for their misfortunes. Now the agents and traders had turned against him. Earlier that summer, the lower agency Midocantons had accused Little Crow of betraying them when he signed away their lands by treaties. They had elected Traveling Hall to be their speaker in place of Little Crow. If Little Crow could have persuaded against Galbraith and the traders to give his people food, they would have respected him again, but he had failed. In the old days, he could have regained leadership by going to war, but the treaties pledged him not to engage in hostilities with either the white men or other tribes. Why was it, he wondered, that the Americans talked so much of peace between themselves and the Indians, and between Indians and Indians, and yet they themselves waged such a savage war with the Graycoats that they had no money left to pay their small debts to the Santees? He knew that some of the young men in his band were openly talking of war with the white men, a war to drive them out of the Minnesota Valley. It was a good time to fight the whites, they said, because so many blue coat soldiers were away fighting the gray coats. Little Crow considered such talk foolish. He had been to the east and seen the power of the Americans. They were everywhere like locusts and destroyed their enemies with great thundering cannon. War upon the white men was unthinkable, according to Little Crow. Ooh, you see how following the colonizer and depending on the colonizer for your leadership leads your people to be hungry? Literally leads your people to be hungry. Following the leadership of the colonizer. Not believing in your own leadership will only let your people be hungry. All right. Can we get hashtag follow colonized leadership up in the comments? Hashtag follow colonized leadership. It's just an example over and over again. We got to follow our own leadership. The white man's going to just lead us to death every single time. That's one point. And I think another point that's even more interesting here is that the people under Little Crow's leadership, they understood that the best time to get to the colonizer is when they are fighting against each other. Mm-hmm. When they're pushing against each other and they're weak because they're using all their resources just to fight each other. And Little Crow's like, no, that's not good. Well, if Little Crow was a dialectical historical materialist, it would learn that, that's actually the way to do it. That is the way to do it. Look at Haiti. That is the way to do it. Mm-hmm. But Little Crow didn't listen to the people under his leadership and said, no, we can't fight the white man. The white man's too powerful. But what did I just say earlier? They're only 9% of the world. Like if you realize that scale, then the enemy is easy to defeat. The enemy is easy to defeat. And and then real last thing real quick is that you see here, this is all during the Civil War, y'all. This is all during the Civil War in the United States. And you see all this fighting with each other, the colonists fighting with each other, right? And what's happening at the same time? A war against colonized people. And that's what we have to always remember, that no matter how much colonizers are fighting each other, there's always a colonial war happening underneath it against colonized people. You see, they weren't taking a break stealing land, and they weren't taking a break murdering indigenous people. They weren't taking a break from that to fight each other. They said, no, we can keep doing that. That's one thing we can agree on. We can agree on killing colonized people. We can agree on murdering colonized people and stealing their land. But what we don't agree on is who's going to do it. Who's going to do it best? Who's going to run it best? Who's going to kill the best? Who's going to murder the best? Who's going to steal the best? That's what they were fighting about in that Civil War. It wasn't about freeing Africans from enslavement. They were fighting who's going to be the better slave master of the Africans. Are the Africans going to be on the plantations, in the rice plantations in the South, or in the clothes factories in the North? Exactly. Where are we going to enslave them? All these fights with each other are all about colonized people. Yes. Oof. Sorry, I had a spirit in me for a second. Talk.
The spirit takes over sometimes. It'd be like that. No, but yeah, exactly. Like this is happening during the Civil War, and it's very clear. Like, colonialism doesn't stop. Colonizing doesn't stop. It's like, who's gonna get this river? How far are we gonna go? who's gonna, you know, be the ones that are gonna lead manifest destiny, right? Who's gonna be the one that's gonna make the decision to execute the number amount of people, right? Who's gonna be doing the investigation, right, on the indigenous people, right? And as we see later with, you know, what Lincoln does, right? Oh, like, oh, he did, you know, a few people, right? But it's like, no, like he's still making the decision. I mean, he's still continuing colonialism and so on. But yeah, like it's just like it's still going on. Like, you know, it's like they're still battling each other, you know, but the like colonialism is still continuing, and it's like, oh, okay, who's gonna be the one that's gonna lead it, you know? So it's really important to like keep that in mind too. And also how like, yeah, like they didn't overturn the country, and they had an opportunity to like really attack them, you know, when they were weak, right? Attack them at that. But yeah, they were too, you know, Little Crow was kind of fearful and too stuck in this like, oh no, we got to keep the peace, we got to like the treaties and like things like that. No, it's just the soldiers, like let's just attack them. It's like, you know, but they had a pretty big opportunity to like, you know, take advantage of that situation. And so, and other tribes as well, you know.
Yes, exactly. So not just Little Crow, exactly. Others as well, exactly.
But
yeah, like, you know, yeah, full unity with that. Yeah, because the way that time was with, you know, the Civil War, they were not just dying because they were fighting each other. They were dying from cholera. That was a dirty time. Like, you see those Civil War pictures, like when they're all like dead on the field. I'm like, that the dirtiest.
Yes, exactly.
That was dirty. I'm like, y'all just dying of everything because you're not where you're supposed to be.
Yes, literally.
And so it was a real opportunity. It was a real opportunity. It was a real opportunity that could have been a turning point for indigenous people, but it wasn't, you know. And when we realize our own leadership collectively, right now, we can take advantage of this opportunity right now. This is a same
literally
time.
Yeah,
it's a similar time where we have two wings of the left, right, white colonizer bird trying to figure out who is controlling the colony, who's controlling these stolen resources, and they can't decide. They're going back and forth. They're sieging the capital. They don't know what to do. And it's time, y'all. If there's a time to take advantage of it, it's now. So yes, the colonies are the same since the Crusades. They haven't changed. They still colonizing. They still colonizing. And Yalitzi says right now, yes, it is right now. And it's a huge opportunity. Like Yalitzi said, there's a huge opportunity we have to have unity.
And like, I think it's also important to like not like romanticize about opportunity. Although yes, there is huge opportunity under our noses, it's also important that we create the environment for us to flourish, right? We have to struggle, right? Revolutionaries have to struggle. You can't just like fall out of nowhere. No, like we, you know, when the revolutionaries created, like it's from the struggle, right? And it's not just, oh, after the struggle, that's it. No, it's continuing, staying in the valley, you know, not going back to the mountaintop, you know, after like, you know, something happens and so on, or like what some organizations we have seen that, you know, go to the mountaintop and so on and leave the people, right? But yeah, like the struggle, we need to create that, right? And that's what we're doing through this, right? That's what we're doing with Hammer City, with our curriculum, our sci-tech department, everything, right? You know, we are going through the struggle and dedicating our time to the masses of people, right? And that's what's forming us. That's what's creating that, right? Because like opportunities come and go, right? But we're creating that opportunity, right? We're creating that environment. We're having control of, you know, our lives and so on, and we're practicing that self-determination. But yeah.
Yeah, I heard you drop that Fred Hampton in there.
Yeah.
We have to create that. We have to create the environment for revolution. If only it could just be the right moment and we push the revolution button. Then, you know, but that's not how life works materially. We have to struggle with people. We have to win people to it because there's more work to be done after the revolution happens. We have to build the world that people have agreed to build. And so that takes work, that takes time, that takes unity, and that takes defense. That takes so many things in order to make sure that we are successful in not just winning the revolution, but sustaining it. Yeah, full unity of that, Sergeant Bear. And yeah, people giving you some yeses in the comments. Yeah, you gotta create that. Yeah, create that environment, full unity. So yeah, let's we are running out, we're running a little short on time, but let's see if we could like have one audience read that back before we go into your.
I saw that Petunia like had you read that back, or like y'all had the same one. That was funny.
Oh, see, I look at people. I be picking out what the comments pick. He be also brilliant. We all on the same wavelength, y'all.
Facts.
Oh wait, all of our read that backs are hidden because everyone was donating so much. Problems. Oh man, everyone was donating so much. all the read that backs got pushed out. That's all right. But let's see. We'll find one from. Let's see.
Oh wait, no, yeah, that was. Okay, I see one.
Yeah, we could do that one. Oh, from here.
Red.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and read.
To ensure peace long enough to establish a settlement in Jamestown, they put a golden crown upon the head of Wawun Sonakuk, dubbed him King Powhatan, and convinced him that he should put his people to work supplying the white settlers with food. Facilitated between loyalty to his rebellious subjects and to the English, but after John Rolfe married his daughter Pocahontas, he apparently decided he was more English than Indian. Yep, that's what unfortunately we see. Just that mentally, and just let's sell out neocolonialism right there. And yeah, we see that a lot throughout this, but yeah, Chief OJ, what are you thinking about this?
Neocolonial sellout. That's like trying wavering between the enemy and his people, and then to sell out his own daughter, who Pocahontas was, I think, 12. I think she was 12 years old when he married off to John Rolfe. And at that point, him deciding to still unite with the colonizer. That's something that we see happen across the colonized world with anti-colonial movements and these people who sell out the long-term goal for a short-term and very often a reactionary, horrible, disgusting interest, right? That's just so individualistic and violent and deadly to the people. And so someone's like, we're crowning you king now, so feed us. Right? That's the colonizers really choosing people that can lead other colonized people into serving the colonizer. That's what a neocolonial sellout leader is. That's a Barack Hussein Obama. Those are who those people are. People handpicked by the colony that can control other colonized people to serve white power, to serve the colonizer. And it was happening with indigenous people here in Turtle Island in that long ago. It's happening here today.
Exactly.
Colonialism is still here. So why would it stop? Right? It only stops with anti-colonial revolution. Yes, land back. That was a good one. That was a good one. Audience, read that back. Remember getting your audience read that back for the future. Every chapter that we read, mark it down as you're reading, all right? So that you could come into the episode with all your read that backs just ready. But land back. Let's get into your last read that back, Sergeant Bear.
All right.
We'll pull it up. It's on page 53.
All right. So this is Wabasha's nephew. And Wabasha is just like we were talking about, a sellout. So this is their nephew talking about and supporting what like Little Crow and the majority of the warriors were saying. And it's, I'm for continuing the war and I'm opposed to the delivery of the prisoners. I have no confidence that the whites will stand by any agreement that they make if we give them up. Ever since we treated with them, their agents and traitors have robbed and cheated us. Some of our people have been shot, some hung, others placed upon floating ice and drowned, and many have been starved in their prisons. It was not the intention of the nation to kill any of the whites until after the 4 men returned from Acton and told what they had done. When they did this, all the young men became excited and commenced the massacre. The older ones would have prevented it if they could, but since the treaties, they have lost all their influence. We may regret what has happened, but the matter has gone too far to be remedied. We have got to die. Let us then kill as many of the whites as possible, and let the prisoners die with us. And yeah, just to like for some context, yeah, like they had a lot of prisoners, a lot of colonizers as prisoners, right? And this was their leverage, and so on. And also, yeah, like throughout like tribes and or relationships, there's like times of peace, right? Where like they make friends, you know, with these colonizers, these traders, and so on. And then something like this happens where there's like a little incident, and then it kind of explodes. And I picked this to read that back because aside from them having that huge distrust, like, okay, we've been friends with them, that doesn't work, right? These treaties, it's not going to work, right? They know, like, they're kind of like, okay, we can't be doing this anymore. We can't be like working with them because they're not going to promise anything, and they're going to put us in a worse position, right? But I picked it because and there's other ones that kind of touched up on that too, but I like how this kind of touched up on other things. But it's like mainly about adventurism and the importance of like your leadership, right? Because they were put in this position because the 4 men that went to go to New Ulm to like attack that and try to get the loot from there, they were told not to do that. They were specifically told not to do that, and that they all united on attacking the fort, right? And because they went off to New Ulm, right, now they had to delay the attack by a day, and then this situation kind of rattled everything up and got them in here, and they weren't even successful in getting what they wanted to succeed and taking that little settlement of New Ulm. And so it's important that we are not adventurous, because that is like they had these ideas of like, oh, we're gonna take it, and like no, like let's stick together, let's follow the plan, and let's follow our leadership and our elders, right? Because the elders were like, no, like this is not a good idea, right? And we can see that the young men were like, oh yeah, like and I think this kind of just speaks on adventurism and so on. And then them kind of like realizing like, yeah, we like, yes, that contradiction happened, but like now we shouldn't be like dealing any deals with them, right? Because yeah, they were friends with some of the traders and so on, right? But like it's very clear that they're not friends with them, or that friendship is not real and so on. But yeah, like they're like realizing, yeah, we just have to continue fighting, and we shouldn't give up, the leverage that we have to like literally live, which is having them as prisoners and so on. But yeah, what do you think about that, Chief Oju?
I want to say first, come through strategists, come through colonized brilliance. You laid that out so well. You saw this. You saw what happened and laid out why the strategy didn't work. And I unite with it. And that's what's so clear in this, is that it's not just a matter of like not following your leadership, but not seeing the long-term goal. Again, I said it earlier, selling out the long-term goal for a short-term interest, saying that, oh, this thing right now is going to satisfy me and satisfy us really quickly. But that thing that will satisfy you real quickly will get in the way of the longer-term goal that you have as a whole group, as a collective. And that's acting as adventurous, that's acting as an individual. And we know that a revolution cannot be a place where people are individuals. You have to be a part of a collective in a revolution. You have to be part of an organization. You have to have leadership. You have to have organization, because without that, people are going to make their own decisions, their own short-term decisions. And if you have a bunch of short-term decisions, no long-term goal will be achieved. What work will be achieved? And if only those 4 comrades had listened to their leadership and said, you know what, we're going to stay, and we're going to do the attack on the fort the next day. And but it's also important to see too how like the resistance against this colonization in Turtle Island, it was organized. It was organized. It was led. It was strategized. There were tactics. It wasn't just randomly let's attack something, or randomly reacting to being having your land settled upon. Right? These were actions that our people were taking. Our colonized people, we are brilliant tacticians. We are organizers. We know how to do this. And so believe in that power for yourself. You have organization in your blood. You have resistance in your blood. And because you have that means you have organization in your blood. because that's the only way resistance can exist is an organization. So believe in that, and feel that, and grasp that, and be that organizer that you know you are. I came into this organization not thinking of myself as an organizer. That wasn't what I came in thinking I was. I was like, I'm someone who just wants to be free, and I know some things. But no, it turns out I can make things happen. I can make things happen. And that's like the brilliance of revolution. It teaches us that you, a colonized, poor working class person, can make things happen. All right. And so you should join Black Hammer, blackhammer.org/join. You want to be a part of this because our people have always been doing this. And yeah, I mean, you are no exception, colonized person. Land back. Any other final thoughts on your read that back there?
Oh no, I just really like Chief Yahweh's comment. Oh, you tying it together. But yes, we are really.
That's what I try to do. You gotta tie it together. You gotta gather the thoughts. Sometimes they be here, and you gotta put them together and serve it to the people, right? So yeah, land back. So let's get into our announcements. We know people got outreach. We got forging. That's one of the announcements. But we got things to do today. So let's get into the announcements at the end. We'll tell you how much we raised. You can still drop some donations in, but we'll tell you how much we raised. But yes, we have Forging the Hammer today. All hammers mandatory. It's today. It's a packed day. It's a full day. But you know what? It steals us. This is how we become the revolutionaries we need to be. Forging the Hammer is at 3 p.m. Eastern. Our theme is build cadre, build defense. We are going to be meeting to figure out how to continue this cadre building that we've been doing all month. And we have some great PEs led by some great chiefs. So we see you there. It's mandatory, just like this book chat.
Yes, and then for our Tuesday rally, we're going to be having a workshop about revolutionary consent, right? And why it's important that we think outside of our colonial relationships and how we've been used to like how, they work, whatever, right? And exactly like the work, right? That's kind of like what we've also been, taught as well. But yeah, it's important that y'all come through to this because this is where, we're going to delve into and learn about revolutionary consent, right? And yeah, so come through, y'all. Again, very important. Our relationships have been, we're still in a colony, we speak English and so on, we're still affected by it, right? Language influences our head and, and so on, vice versa, right? And so, relationships are no different, right? But yes, come through. Tuesday, 7 p.m.
Yes, just Tuesday rally on Tuesday. And then Fridays, every Friday, we have Hard Targets, which comes from our anti-colonial big bad news source, the Black Hammer Times, with Chief Jucha and Chief Shalot. It happens every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. On Facebook and YouTube. Hard Targets gets to the news that our people need to hear, that our colonies people need to hear. We see what's going on in the world and hit those targets real hard to tell you how colonialism is the reason that story is happening in your life, that story is happening in our communities. So yes, the empire strikes hard, but we strike harder. So check out Hard Targets every Friday.
Yes, and join Reparations Corps, y'all. We got a political education boot camp for all colonizers every Wednesday, 2 p.m. Join Reparations. I saw a lot of y'all in the comments. Keep going. Let's get this fleet together. Fall under colonized leadership. Yes.
You said fleet. I could think it was like a boat yacht. All right, and then next week's meeting is chapters 4 through 6 from Bury My Heart and Wounded Knee. I know y'all are already enjoying this book. Like, it's good already. You saw how chapter 3 ended? It was like, I'll tell you, it was like a movie trailer. It was like,
yes,
his name was
Sitting Bull.
I was like, oh,
I know. I was like,
oh, I wasn't ready.
I want to read it. I want to look back at it. Yes, it was. It was really good. His name was Tatanka Yotanka, the Sitting Bull. I was like, oh,
right. I was like, no, I need the rest. I need the rest.
Yeah. Like after he saw, what happened, and then it left with. I was like, okay, great way to just drop that. But yeah, it was awesome.
Okay, yeah, bro. So everyone, it's in our library, blackhammer.org/library. And if you are interested in like doing things like this, making sure that our people are politically educated with books, making sure our colonized children are educated. Join the curriculum committee or the curriculum department at Black Hammer. You can email us at bhcurriculum@protonmail.com. And that way you can be a part of this process of educating our masses, educating our members, educating our people. Because without education, as Thomas Sankara said, we just some criminals. So we need that political education to guide us and give us a frame for what we're doing and why we're doing it. So yeah, Sergeant Bear, do you want to tell everyone how much we raised today?
Yes, I do. Let me get like a drum roll in the comments. Nah, but yeah, so y'all, we raised $866. the colonizer coin. Yep. We got that. So we blew our goal out of the water there. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to us.
Dang! Look at what we can do. Look at what we can do. Look at us. Not us. When I say us, I'm not talking about Sergeant Bear and I. I know we amazing. When I say us, colonized people.
Y'all saw that?
What colonized people can do, y'all. We can learn and raise money for the revolution. Look what we can do. You all did that. Keep doing it. Vanguard things. Yes. Yeah, who got $34 to make it 900? I'll put 14 in. I'll put 14 in. So who got 20? I'll put 14 in. Who got 20 to make it 900? Who got it?
I'll throw in a 10. I'll throw in a 10.
Oh, okay. Bear threw in 10. Who got 10? Who got 10? Who got 10? We almost there.
Who got 10?
This live delay is killing me.
We got outreach. We got Fortune the Hammer later. Who got 10?
Oh, 20 more reservations. Hey, we over 900 now.
Let's go.
We over 900 now. Okay.
You saw that?
They all started coming.
Okay.
Y'all showing out.
Nice. Damn,
This is I expected. Layback, we appreciate that, Felix.
Yes, Shokshi.
Yes, we appreciate all of that. Thank you so much. Read chapters 4 through 6, y'all. And yes, we will see you next Sunday for the book chat.
Right. Land back, y'all.